This call is being recorded.
Good morning, guys. As we're muting out, I'm going to go on and introduce myself. I'm Phyllis Nash. I am one of the four co-founders here at Akana. Really glad to be with you on this beautiful, sunshiny Tuesday day in Chicago. And so we're going to go on and get started with our phenomenal VP of training. Dee is known by so many names, helps so many people across the world. And guys, he is here with us on Tuesday mornings to pour nuggets and knowledge into us. I really appreciated his talk on Tuesday when he talked about data and collecting data, and it really ups your game. I've known that for many, many years, but you just stop doing certain things. But when you continue and start back, and that was some nuggets he shared last week, it really does make a difference. So without further ado, I've already asked you to make sure you got pen and paper so that you can take those nuts and then apply them to your business. And without further ado, I want to bring on up our own Coach Dan. I see you. Let me unmute you. There you go. You're unmuted.
Hey. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So listen, it is truly another wonderful, wonderful day, another time to be excited. This is a time to be excited. I am super excited because, excuse me, I'm super excited because there are moments, I don't know, Phyllis, if you've ever felt this way, Miss Phyllis, but there are moments in your life where you think these are the worst of times, but it's also the best of times.
I might be relating to that about right now. Yes, I know about that.
Yeah. And there's some people that's on the line right now where they can sense the momentum shifting for their benefit. And they could shift the momentum, they could sense the momentum shifting for their benefit, but there's tension in the shift. And a lot of times when there's tension in the shift, there's a decision that has to be made. And the decision is a decision of where you're going to put your attention. Because what I'm learning is that when life is happening, and those moments where it feels like it's the worst of times, you can become consumed in that moment and lose your momentum. And you lose momentum because you stop moving. And you stop moving because of the tension that's in the shifting. And so the question becomes, how do I continue to move when and not lose sight of the mission when I'm stuck dealing with the tension? And what I'm realizing, and I'm telling you, and if you guys catch these few moments that we're going to have this morning, if you catch it, I believe it's going to revolutionize not only your business, but it's going to revolutionize your life. Because the truth of the matter is, all of us, regardless of race, regardless of economic status, regardless of academic status, regardless of social status, all of us at some point will have to deal with the worst of times that happens in our lives. And the difference between those that achieve greatness and those that simply desire to be great is how you handle yourself in the worst of times. How do you respond to the worst of times? Because some of us get so consumed in where we are, we lose sight of where we're going. We lose sight of the big picture. We lose sight of the goal. We lose sight of the mission. And we find ourselves stuck in a circle, dealing with tension. And it's not the tension, it's not that you should ignore the worst of times when it happens. But you have to make a decision of how you're going to allow those times to affect and impact how you move. Because the truth of the matter is, the difference between those that win and those that lose is the decisions you make when you feel like you're losing. Wait a minute. And for some of us, the decisions we make when we're losing. Because when we begin to analyze data not only drives dollars, but data, as I told you last week, it also causes you to have to make decisions. And sometimes when we look at the data is not in our favor. And when the data is not in our favor and the data says that you're running at a deficit, the data says that you're not reaching your goal. The data says that you're not fulfilling your purpose. The data tells you that you're not successful in what it is that you're trying to accomplish. When the data tells you that, how do you respond to data when data is saying that you are losing? How do you respond to the data? Well, one of the things that when you talk, there's how much time I got, and that's going to determine how many things I'm going to give you when you and how to respond to data to the data that tells you you're losing. How to respond to data that tells you you're not achieving the goal. How to respond to data when the data, how to respond with it. I could give you 5 points. I got time for 5 points. I'm going to drop about 60 seconds each point. I'm going to give you 5 points on how to deal with the worst of times, how to deal with the worst of times when the data says that it's not good. The first thing that you have to understand is that you have to, at some point in your life, recognize that every day is not going to be Sunday. You gotta recognize that tension comes with living. Trouble comes with living. Trials and tribulations comes with living. And if you don't expect it, those moments to happen, when it happens, you're not going to know how to respond. When you don't know how to anticipate the bad because everything is good, when the bad takes place, you will become more consumed with the bad because you never expected it to come. And I just tell you that bad stuff is going to happen in life no matter who you are. And I just tell you, there are going to be some moments you're going to miss. You're going to miss the shot. There's going to be some moments you're going to make some mistakes. There's going to be some moments that you're going to have to suffer for somebody else's mistakes. There's going to be some moments you're going to have to deal with some stuff that wasn't your fault, but you got to deal with it anyway. It's just a part of life. It's a part of life. And when you get consumed with the bad times, you'll never be able to experience the good times. Why? Because you've lost sight of where you're going, so you get stuck in where you are. So that's number one. Expect it. Number two is change your perspective of it. Well, what do you mean? A lot of times, how we perceive a thing is going to determine how we engage that thing and how we're going to allow that thing to affect us. And so if I perceive something as, oh, this is the worst day of my life. Oh, my life is about to end. Oh, it's time for me to give up. Oh, this. If I perceive it that way, then I'm going to engage it that way. And the truth of the matter is, I will never win that way. So how you perceive it, change your perspective as to how you see it. You can use tragedy as a time to cause you to quit and throw in the towel, or you can use it as an opportunity. What do you mean, opportunity? But it's saying, oh, here's what data, when data tells me that what I'm doing is not working, I can look at that data as an opportunity to make certain that as an opportunity for, watch this, number one, creativity. I can use that data as an opportunity to now become creative and begin to do some things differently, because the data is saying what I'm doing is not working. And the challenge with us is when we look at the data and the data is telling us we're not working, we don't make the necessary adjustments. We continue on and we ignore what the data is telling us. When you look at these political campaigns and all of those things that's happening in the season that we're in, you hear of candidates, quote unquote, changing their positions and things of that nature on particular subject matters and particular policies. Well, they're changing their positions because the data says that the people that's voted for them does not favor the position that they're holding. So yes, you can call it a flip-flop. You can call it what you want. I call it smart politics. If you actually change your policy position for the sake of benefiting the majority of the people that you're asking to vote for you. So number one, you got to expect it to happen. Number two, you got to change your perspective of how you see it. And if you change your perspective of how you see it, you're going to change your perspective of how you engage it and how ultimately you allow it to impact you. Not only must you change your perspective, but you must also be willing to change your position. Well, what do you mean? Well, you may have to do it differently. You may have to do it differently. Your team, watch this, your team is not working, and you've been working with the same team for years and years, and you realize that there's some team members that is saying that they just that are showing you by their non-showing up, their non-responsiveness, you gotta learn, you gotta change your position. Okay, I see right now you're on pause, but because you're on pause, I can't be on pause. I see that this product is not moving. So you got to change your position. Because remember, everything about the art of the sale is properly positioning your proposition to your potential client, your potential customer, your potential business builder. Some of us have been doing the same thing, expecting a different result. You got to change the position of your proposition. The fourth thing you got to do, so number one, you got to expect hard times to come. Anticipate it. Be ready for it. Number two, you got to change perspective. You got to change your perspective. Number three, not only do you have to change your perspective, but you got to change your position. Number four, you got to change people. Some of us are stuck in the spot we're in because of people. Because of how we've allowed people to impact us, how we've allowed people to affect us, how we've allowed people to distract us, how we've allowed people, right, to hinder us, how we've allowed others people know to become our no. I'll write that down. Don't let somebody else's no to you to become your no to yourself. How many of us are living our lives based on somebody else's no? Number five, it's going to require a decision. May I surmise to you, and I've been thinking about this all night. I was up to about, I didn't sleep, couldn't focus on one particular thing or another. My mind was gone up until almost 4 o'clock this morning, and all I can think about is this thought process, and that is greatness is a decision, no matter who you are and no matter where you are. If you decide to be great, you will become it. And it's a decision that you have to make every single day. When you decide to be great in whatever it is you do, it's in that moment that you also become unstoppable. Which means when the worst of times happen, you deal with it, you don't allow it to deal with you, but you don't stop. When you miss the goal, you acknowledge it, you accept it, but you don't stop. When you got to get rid of some people, you may be hurt by it, disappointed in it, but you don't stop. Because every day you get up, you decide, today I'm choosing to do what it takes to become great. I'm choosing to sacrifice what it takes to become great. I'm choosing to be what it takes to become great. And I'm not going to stop until I achieve the greatness that I desire to have in my life. You cannot only desire greatness, you must exercise the necessary discipline and the decisions that go along with greatness to actually become great. And so the last several weeks, we've been given some real technical training, analyzing data, recognizing how to pivot, all of these different things. What I do realize is that for many of us, we experience bi-emotional seasons in our life. What do you mean, Coach Dan, bi-emotional? One emotion is filled with energy, excitement, enthusiasm. And at the same time, we're dealing with another emotion that's potentially depressive, disappointing, and discouraging. Every time we want to move forward, there's in our enthusiasm, there's something pulling us back in our discouragement. It causes us to lose the momentum of our mission. And as a result, we have no movement. Don't allow the worst of times, as I end, to cause you to lose the momentum of your mission because you stop moving. Don't stop moving. Keep going. Detour may come. Keep going. The roadblocks may come. Keep going. Tough times may come. Keep going. The disappointments may come. Keep going. The discouragement may come. Keep going. The disruption may come. Keep going. And as you choose to keep going, you'll keep moving. And as you keep moving, you'll eventually gain your momentum again. Listen, I hope this was helpful for you today. I want you to have a supernaturally wonderful, wonderful kind of day. And I can't wait. Listen, next week, you guys, next week, I am going to be in South Africa. I leave this coming Sunday. So Miss Phyllis, once I land, I'll let you know. I leave Sunday morning. I land on Monday evening in South African time. And so I'll let you know how my signal and all of that stuff is faring out. It changes depending on the regions I'm in and things of that nature. I intend to be on and greet you all the way from South Africa. But if not, it's only because I can't. And y'all, next week, next Tuesday, is also Princess Rachel Danielle's birthday. Many of you hear me talk about my baby. She turns 21, and she is actually going to be celebrating her birthday with her father in South Africa. Yeah, Prince Josiah is going with me. Princess Rachel is going with me. And my baby boy, Kyle Stratford, 3 of my children, they're going with me to do mission and ministry in South Africa. So y'all be praying for us. If you want to have more information about the stuff we're doing some amazing stuff. If you just want to take a sneak peek and be nosy, go to tecgives.org. Just check it out, tecgives.org, and be praying for us. Until next time, as always, prosper and be blessed.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Coach Dan. And guys, I can't do nothing. He dropped the mic. I took notes. I got my 5 points right here. And so with that being said, if Dr. Betty is on, would you like to announce what's coming for tonight? I don't see her, but in the event, oh, there she is. No, that's not her. Always get her. Well, I don't think Dr. Betty is here, but back to you, Coach Dan. That was phenomenal. So thank you very much. I felt like you were talking to each and every one of us personally. With that being said, go out and push, guys. See you back here tomorrow morning. Bye now.